What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a preview, another preview. It's another preview, but the first one in about 2 weeks because international break was, and it's finally over. Thank God it's over, and football is like actual real football is finally back, and it starts. I want to say with a bang, but actually on paper it's not maybe a bang. We start away to Empoli, but we kick off a very intense month that's coming up, with Champions League games, Napoli in between, PSV, Leipzig. So a lot of games coming up after this Empoli game, and they're coming thick and fast, because I think we played. I think we played 3 times on a Sunday at Saturday at 6 o'clock, which is horrible. But it's 3 times 6 o'clock and 2 Champions League games sandwiched in between, and it's intense, but no excuses. I think we have, or we should have, a squad that's numbers wise big enough, I think. And also, I think we all complain, especially me, that we didn't play Europe last season. Not the players' fault or Allegri's fault at that time, but it was just boring. You played on Sunday or you played on Saturday, whatever. You didn't win that game, and you just were stuck with the thought process of, damn, we didn't win that game, and now I need to wait another, I don't know, week or so before we actually have a shot to redeeming ourselves. Well, this season it's different, because if you don't win against Empoli, well, no time to cry about it, because on Tuesday you kick off actually the Champions League. You're the early slot hours, and you kick off the Champions League against PSV. So no time to kind of waste, but it's good. It's good to be back. It's good to actually have a real football back on. And that's kind of what Motta also talked about, because he had his presser today. People, also hit the like button. Keep in mind, it's going to be like in half an hour, because I'm live on Anthony's channel for the second episode of our podcast on Interval Wide. So tune in after this one, or rewatch after this one, and show him some love. We will discuss a lot of things on that podcast. But Thiago Motta spoke ahead of the game, because leading up to the game, I think there was a lot of debate in the media and the fans about, which players are going to be fit, and what about Fagioli, and what about that player, we have so many options, and so on, many games, and blah, blah, blah. So that was one of the first questions he kind of got asked, because the South American players came back quite late, as usual. So again, no surprise or something like this. These are things we actually know. But he said from the start, we have known that what our schedule would be. Tomorrow we are focused on the 90 minutes ahead of us. It's a serious game against a good team. We have prepared well for this challenge, and we are ready to take them on. The South American players are fine. Nico Gonzalez played, as did Danilo and Cabal. Actually, Cabal played about 5 minutes. As I said before, we knew the calendar would be intense, and we will face it with enthusiasm. Let's take one step at a time. Let's think about Empoli and give our best against them. That's, like, again, we knew the schedule. Everybody knew the schedule. It's kind of pointless to moan about like, you can analyze the schedule. You can talk about, man, we played that team, and then 2 days later we played that team, and then that's tough, and that's a fact. But again, you don't pick the opponents. They got chosen. So you need to deal with it. And to be honest, I like it. The more games, the better. Especially for this team. And that's why what I believe is that this is not a team that's, how do you want to call it? Let's say the players we have right now, we had them last season, but it was a complete mess. And now a new coach comes in, and he just needs to clear that. He needs to get everything on point, But the base is there in terms of, like, these players know each other. That's not the case right now. You have a new coach, and you have a lot of new players. I think the more games, the better, because that gives him the opportunity to test out things which he can do. You can do behind closed doors, playing against, I don't know, Serie D side. It's not the same. Now you can actually check. The bad news is you're gonna check, or you're gonna test things, risking losing points and so on. But we have no other choice. He might play, I don't know, he might play Fagioli tomorrow, and we will go into the starting lineup potential. He might play a Fagioli tomorrow with a Court Miners and Locatelli, and that can completely fail, and he will learn about it. It's bad luck for us, because we potentially drop points, what so on. However, the positive is, on PSV on Tuesday, he will change it up, and it might work, So that was always the risk of getting players in late. We knew that. It happened, But even if they got in early, it will be more beneficial in terms of they will be all on the same page. But then again, you need to test it out in real life. You can train certain things 1,000 times. If the opponent doesn't react in the way you want to react and do something completely different and stifle you or whatever, then training is cool, but it's not gonna help. That's why, if again, it's tough. It's Empoli, it's PSV, it's Napoli, it's 1 week rest, it's, I forgot the team, and then it's Leipzig. It's not easy. However, that goes for, I don't know how many teams are in the Champions League, 38, 28, 32, 32. That goes for all these teams. All of them have these schedules. So it's not just us, it's Inter, it's Milan, it's Atalanta. They all have that schedule, So I don't want to complain, I don't want to complain about that. I'm just happy that we are actually having Champions League football again. Tomorrow is game 1 of the intense month that's coming up. But, you drop points against Empoli, 36. That's even worse. 36. It's Empoli. You need to bounce back, obviously, from the Roma game. I call it bounce back. We didn't lose or so on, but you need to bounce back in terms of this is Empoli. You need to beat Empoli. You need to go into that PSV game with a positive feeling. Because actually, I was so busy these past 3 weeks, away for a week and so on. I didn't even know. I haven't watched a single Eredivisie game this season. I haven't watched a single Eredivisie game, and usually I do a lot. So I just need to check how they all started off the season. PSV is top, 15 goals scored, ridiculous. Ajax are still crap, but they only played 2 games. So PSV, yeah, man. Oh, 7-1. Okay, Almere City. That's not good. That's absolutely not good. But yeah, 15 goals scored. Again, PSV, you need to beat PSV, but that's going to be a very intense game as well, So the Empoli game for us in general, if you play Empoli tomorrow, that should be a warming up game, kind of ahead of what is going to be an intense game. Because when you play against PSV, they have players like Lozano, and you might say, man, Lozano's still playing. Yeah, but he does well, Luke de Jong, Bakayoko, they are they're a handful. They're a handful type of team, and you will have a different game than the Empoli game. That's why I think you need to beat Empoli, and actually you need to beat Empoli without any with no issues. Actually, you don't need to actually. How do you want to go into minutes 70, 75, and you're still haggling about, are we gonna get the win? Are we gonna get this over the line? So on, so on. It needs to be a clean win. That definitely needs to happen tomorrow, but we will see. We will see about that. Yeah. What else did he have to say? Okay, so he went on about, or actually one of the questions was basically, it was just a broader question, talking about, you got so many players now, but how are you going to set up? What do you have an idea in mind? Do you know what you're going to do tomorrow? Or just in general throughout the season, what is your idea? Basically, that was the question. And he said the team is growing from a tactical aspect, but we can do better. Empoli defense with a low block, and we have to be good at playing with the ball, creating chances, but also ensuring we finish them, while not forgetting our defensive transition. The group responds well to my input. The conviction is to play a game that brings results. We have a common idea, and the challenge is to fight match after match. We want to play a good game at Empoli with seriousness and concentration, knowing what to do and what to avoid. On the Empoli one, really quickly, I think I mentioned it last week or so. Stats-wise, numbers-wise, Empoli are the team that gift, if you want to call it gift, the opponent's possession the most, and we are one of the teams who claim possession the most this season. That's how that game is going to shape up. Usually, when you go to Empoli, or the last couple of seasons, they will come at you early on. The first impression of this Empoli team is they won't come at you. They will hand you the ball, and they will transition you. That's how they want to play Empoli. That's what Thiago Motta as well obviously has witnessed with all the tools he has. And I haven't watched Empoli games a lot. I just watched, I don't know, like a good, maybe not even a half. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably not a half of football I watched from Empoli, but it was very obvious that they sit with a low block and they tried to transition. Looked up some stats, and well, they are the worst of it in terms of, or the best of it. Depends on how you want to look at it. But it was interesting that he said you need to create chances, but we need to finish him, because the first 3 games in the season, bar the Roma game, we were just very clinical. Like almost everything we kind of created, we put away, especially to put the game away. If we missed chances, usually it was when the game was kind of already done, and then we started missing some chances. But to open up a game, usually the first chance was a goal, against Como, against Verona, and actually against Roma in the first half. That Vlahovic shot was the first and probably the only chance of the entire game for both teams, and it was the most dangerous one that almost went in, bar a weird save from the Roma goalie. But that's what we are right now. We're clinical, and we're very capable of defending. We're very capable of being... we are very... there's a Thiago Motta, Vlahovic. We're very capable of not sitting down deep, but when we lose possession, to set up in a very compact block, and when we press and win the ball back, we are all out of it, and when we lose possession, we're back in shape, and that's what you need to do against Empoli. Like, they will give you tomorrow, they will give you the idea that you're in total control. Not the idea, you will be in total control. However, if you get caught sleeping, they will catch you on a break. That's that type of team, Oh, it's a typo. Oh, it's gonna be a typo on every slide, because I left the name out there. But that's what Empoli is gonna be, So again, it's a game. In my opinion, you need to break open very soon. We need to have that goal in the first 20 minutes of the game, and then you should be cruising that game, and you should be heading towards the end of the 75 minutes, and you can pull a couple of players. That's the type of game I think we need tomorrow, especially tomorrow ahead of that PSV game coming after an international break, after that Roma game where there was some criticism, or like just in general, it wasn't a good game quality wise, it was very slow pace, it was very technical. On a technical level, it was just poor. It was just poor. Period. It was a very poor game. But that's done. That's done. Tomorrow, you need to react. Tomorrow, you need to react. That's the only way out of it. Out of that Roma game. Out of that thing. And then obviously Danilo's name came up. Actually, in general, Danilo's name. It was more about you have a young squad, which we do have a young squad, and an unexperienced squad. How do you think these players are going to react to, starting off hot, then the Roma game? Again, it's not the end of the world, but then PSV and Napoli, like, it's coming fast, How do you think these players are going to react? And he started off with Danilo because he was asked about Danilo as well, because that's a topic. Everybody's talking about Danilo. And he said he's doing well. He's an important player like many others we have in the team. With Brazil, he played at fullback. He can also do it with us, or take to the field as a center back. We will see what the team needs from him to be competitive. And then he talked about Atsic as well. He's back on form, young young or experienced. I don't look at that or the nationality, but only at what the player can add to the group. The young players have so much desire to do well. I have to manage the moment to give them their chance, or understand how to make them grow. The rest is taken care of by experience of the many veterans in the dressing room. They're also the ones who allow us to make the youngsters grow and make the group mature, take them to a higher level. I think that's kind of what Danilo's role is right now. If I'm being completely honest, and we will get into the starting 11. He's gonna play games, Danilo, but he's not the main guy. Like, he's just not the main guy right now. He's not what he was under Allegri, and that's very obvious right now. I think he is more of a, you can be a mentor type of guy. You can, look at a player like Atsic and you can talk to him, or you can talk to Savona, and so on and so on. I don't think Thiago Motta is looking at him and be like, you're a main piece. Obviously, you're going to play games, because we play almost every 3 games. Everybody's going to play, even McKennie, even Milik if he's back. I don't know when he's back. They're all gonna play games because we play so many games. I get that, but he's not the main guy. I don't think Thiago Motta wakes up in the morning. It's like, man, this game, I need Danilo 100%. I think he wakes up and it's like, you know what? Danilo can play in this game, so I'll play him. It's not with a conviction of I definitely need Danilo because I need this, and this from him, because he doesn't have anything, in my opinion, where a coach will look at it and be like, I definitely need that aspect of your game in, I don't know, in the PSV game or the Napoli game whatsoever. I don't think that's the case. And nor should it to be the case, because he's not that type of player. It's as simple as that. On Atsic, really quickly, because he was tipped to start a couple of weeks ago. I think he will get some significant minutes tomorrow, depending on how the game goes. Because he's a player, he's highly regarded by Thiago Motta. Injured preseason, that's a sad part. I think we covered that already. It's not ideal. However, the fact that he's still with the team and not with the next gen, in my opinion, is really, really telling. It's really telling, and we'll see. He will have opportunities to play. Conceição is still out. Thuram is back, but not 100%. Obviously, Timothy Weah is back as well. But we play so many games that you're gonna see Atsic. You're gonna see Mbangula play more games. You're gonna see Savona play a lot of games. You're gonna see Kalulu come in and play games. Me especially, keep forgetting that Kalulu's still on the team, but he's still there. It's impossible to imagine that injuries are gonna happen as well. But for me, it's impossible to imagine that he's gonna play Bremer and Gatti now, PSV, Napoli the following week, Leipzig. So he's gonna make changes. So obviously these players are gonna play, but Danilo definitely is not a main choice right now. 100% he's not the main choice. I know some people have an issue with that. I have absolutely no issue with that at all, because I don't think he's that good. And then the main guy, Vlahovic. A lot of criticism after that Roma game. Some very valid from me as well, from the chances aspect as well, in general, or like just the decision making. I think more so in that Roma game. But what Motta has to say about Vlahovic has been the same since preseason, basically. He's not making it about Vlahovic. He's making it about the team. Excuse me. He said Vlahovic must be supported by the whole team. I'm happy with his work. He motivates himself and the others. He has desire. He's positive in the group. Manages to bring so much home. I'm very happy with what he has done in recent weeks. That's kind of like, if you go back, I think it was his opening presser, when he got, presented to the media, and he was asked about Vlahovic. I think it was that presser where he said, it's not about Vlahovic, nor is it about whoever plays up top. It's about the team. And that's what I've always said with Vlahovic. Does his basic link-up play at times, is it frustrating and needs to improve? Yeah. But I kind of made my peace with it won't improve. It won't improve to a level where people will be satisfied. It will be good on the day. It will be bad the following day. That's what it is. What I want to see from Vlahovic is him converting chances. Now, against Roma, we didn't create anything. Period. We didn't. As a team, we struggled. We failed. So on, so on. But if you get the chances in and around the box, and you can miss chances, everybody misses chances. But when it's a key moment, you need to finish them. When you get 3, 4, 5 good chances and you only get one of them on target, then I will have an issue with it. If we create enough chances and you start missing them way too often, and especially in key moments and so on, then I will have an issue. Because against Como, I think against Como he played well with linking up play. Against Verona, he did what he had to do. And against Roma, we were never going to score no matter what was going to happen, no matter who you had. We just struggled to actually break Roma open completely. From down the middle, on the left, on the right, it wasn't the day. We really struggled to break them open. So that had nothing to do with Vlahovic in terms of putting it in the back of the net. What had to do with Vlahovic was the missed pass, not laying it up to Conceição in the first half, kicking it out, basically, instead of actually putting it on a play field is to run one-on-one with the goalie. Those type of things that will get frustrating to watch when you are watching a game that's in general frustrating to watch, where there are no chances, and then you have a player up top who is bouncing off the ball way too much. Then you won't have, like, then I will have an issue. Then it gets frustrating. But right now, I agree with Motta. It's not, because he's the first one who presses, and he's also the first one who drops in. You know, that you need, like, that's what he's asking. Even Milik, if he starts Milik, or Gonzalez up top, that's what he's going to ask from these players. You know, you're the first one to press, also the first one to drop in if we don't have the ball. That he's doing well. But the moment we start creating chances, you need to be putting them away. Period. You know? And again, right now, 2 goals in 2. Is that awful? No. Is that amazing? No. It's just okay, you know? Basic, you know? And now we need to build on that. So let's see what he will do against Empoli. But I agree. It's not... no matter who you have up front, as a pure number 9, by the way, it needs a team. No matter who, like a pure number 9. Not a Zirkzee type of player or so on, because that's a different type of discussion. But a pure number 9, if you get the chances, you need to put them away. That's just... You can say it's... Motta can say it's not about the team, and it's more about the team, so on, so on. If the chances are brought to you on a plate, you need to be putting them away. Period. They won't let Danilo get that automatic renew clause, plays every 3 matches or most. If that kicks in, we have an issue. We are in trouble because the wages are ridiculous and he's not that good. Against mid and small teams, he's gonna do well, but I don't expect much from him in big games. That's my point. Like, I don't get that reasoning, Alex. If the chances are the same type of chances, if you put them in around the box and you give him opportunities to put it away, it doesn't matter if it's a bad or a poor team. Against better teams, you're not going to create as much. That goes back to my point when I'm like, in key moments, you need to be putting them away. If you get one chance on the biggest stage, if you're that guy, you put them away. You put him away. But if you play Empoli and you create one chance and it's half chance, you cannot put him away, I cannot come out of that game. I'm like, oh my God, you should be scoring 3. There's only one chance. But if you start missing them, like against Como at one point, you know, 1-on-1 with the goal, even when it was offside, I'm like, that's on you. Like, that's just a confident thing. You need to put them away. But we will see. We will see what he will do tomorrow. Let's go into... whoops, that's not good. Let's go into the starting 11. Or a predicted starting 11, because it's kind of all over the place. We need to be honest, you know. If you watch the news, it's all over the place. So this is a predicted starting 11. With Di Gregorio on goal, Gatti Bremer starting, Danilo coming in at right back, Cabal starting, Locatelli, Douglas Luiz, Koopmeiners, Cambiasso, Yildiz, Vlahovic. That is the predicted lineup. Keep in mind, it's predicted. You know, it doesn't make sense, whatever. That's what's been put out there. So that's what we need to go about, you know. Milik is out. Conceição is out. So that's a given. Timothy Weah and Thuram just came back in training on Wednesday, maybe Thursday, you know. So they're potentially with the team, you know, but they're not ready to start. So they are out. And then you have the big question mark of, are you going to play Savona again? According to the news, no. It's going to be Cambiasso. And actually, it's not going to be Cambiasso at right back. It's going to be Cambiasso at right wing. Do I love that? No, I don't. Because, yeah, you can play multiple positions. However, like, if you need Cambiasso to do a job on the day, he will do that. However, if you ask him multiple games to play right winger, it's not going to look awful, but you're not going to get out of it what you should be getting out of a right winger, period. It's as simple as that. But he will do a job. However, is that ideal? No. But Danilo is tipped to start, you know. So Savona goes to the bench. Fagioli goes to the bench because Douglas Luiz is coming into the team. And Koopmeiners is coming into the team. Obviously, Yildiz and Vlahovic start as well. Do I think that's going to be the lineup? Actually, maybe. I do think that could be the lineup. Yeah, why not? You know, Douglas Luiz and Koopmeiners have been with the team all week, so they probably are going to start. Yildiz, because, well, it's going to be Yildiz. Gonzalez just came back. I don't think he's going to play Gonzalez. I think he's going to keep him to come off the bench. And then with Cambiaso, we've seen it against Roma, so I can actually see that happening again. Is that team good enough to beat Empoli? Yeah, it should be good enough to beat Empoli. Is that team gelled in? No, because you bring in Koopmeiners, Douglas Luiz for the first time. Cambiaso is not a natural right wingers as well, so it's not gelled in, obviously. So it's not gonna look, on point whatsoever. But that's more than enough. Actually, that's definitely more than enough to beat Empoli on the day tomorrow. Is it going to be an easy game? No, I don't predict an easy game. I don't think we're going to walk over them. I think it will be a slugfest type of game. I don't think it's going to be... I think it's going to be a game probably where we can see the most chances since the start of the season, with the first 3 games. I think that will be the game where we start conceding a bit more. Probably on transition as well. In transition as well, excuse me. But it's more than enough. Like, it's definitely more than enough if you look at that lineup. The Chilio revenge tomorrow. I saw an interview, or I saw the quotes from the Empoli coach, and he said that De Chilio is not fit enough to play, but he asked to be on the bench for this game. So I brought it. I'm like, not once was that on my bingo card, De Chilio beefing Juve. I'm like, well, unbelievable, but that's peak banter. De Chilio beefing Juve. Yeah, crazy. And people smash the like button. Do you think McKennie will have a chance to start from the beginning? No. Nor should he. I actually will cry if he starts tomorrow. I would. With all the signings we made. And you might say on the right wing, I don't want to see it. I just don't want to see it. Kalulu probably over Danilo. I was thinking that because he was in training all 2 weeks. But according to the media, Danilo's stepped to start. And actually I wouldn't be surprised if Danilo definitely starts tomorrow. But people... hit the like, but especially give me your prediction, because I have a good 4 or 5 minutes and then I need to go on Anthony's channel, Interval Wide. So stay tuned, or actually join me over there for the second podcast. But I'm gonna go with let me go 2-0. Let me go with a 2-0 win. I think we'll concede. I don't think it will be easy, but we need to win this game. So I'm going to go 2-0 with... I'm going to go with a Vlahovic and a Koopmeiners goal tomorrow. But we need to win that game, and also, usually I say I don't care how we win that game. Going into the PSV game, it needs to be a clean win. It needs to be a confident win. It needs to be a win where a lot of these players come out of that game and they look at themselves in the mirror and be like, actually, that was a good game. For Koopmeiners, for Douglas Luiz, for Vlahovic, Yildiz, because all these guys are going to be key players on Tuesday against PSV, which is going to be a completely different type of game, completely different intensity, completely different style of play whatsoever. That will be a team that will come for you, that won't sit back like Empoli. So it's going to completely different. And I know we struggled to break it down Roma when they didn't really set back, but just told us play. But this is Empoli. We need to find a way to beat Empoli. So I'm going to go 2-0 with Vlahovic and Koopmeiners. In the defensive phase, Empoli plays 5 at the back, and it will be difficult to score. It would, but there are no excuses. Like, it's gonna happen a lot. Like, you can play at Venezia away, probably. These type of teams, Cagliari away, and they will sit back with 4 or 5 at the back. You need to break them down. You need to find a way, because this is going to happen more often than not this season. It's not going to happen in the Champions League. Lille is not going to do that. Stuttgart, Leipzig, Bruges, even Bruges, they're not going to do that, But these type of teams are going to do that at home. And also away, when they come to the Allianz Stadium. You just cannot sit there and be like, oh, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but it should be a normality. It needs to be a formality. It needs to be normal for us to break down low blocks. That needs to happen tomorrow. If the Chilio tomorrow somehow score against us, I'm withdrawing from football. He's not playing. According to the coach, he's not even fit. He's just bringing him on the bench because he asked to be on the bench. Which is funny, because the Chilio was talking all that talk about I never got a shot when I came back from injury, and here we go, the Empoli coach talking about he's not even fit. It's crazy, but that's reality in 24. The Chilio beefing beefing Juve. But yeah, people, I'm gonna wrap this one up because I'm jumping on the other channel. Hit the like button, subscribe. I will be back tomorrow with the reaction, obviously, and I will be back live on Sunday to break down that game with some guests, and then Monday is again preview because we play PSV, and actually cannot wait for that game. You know, no matter what happens tomorrow, I still cannot wait for that Champions League game. Yeah, people. But that's it for me. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys